Hello everyone, I'm Suey. This is my son Drew, and he is here to join me kind of as a guest appearance on the channel. Today we're going to talk about the three-body problem. So here's the thing. I did a short review, 1-minute review last year when I read this book. I also did a longer review, but the short review is the one that's getting a ton of views, and a lot of people are like, you didn't explain this very well. And I feel like saying back to them, you try explain this book in 1 minute and let's see how you do. This book, there's a lot of buzz about it right now, but I don't see a lot of people in my own booktube circle talking about it, probably because it's kind of an older book, but it's getting more buzz now because Netflix series is happening this week.
How old is it?
I don't know, but I know. Oh, hey, pause. I didn't look up when the Three-Body Problem was published, but I don't have the book with me at the moment, but I do have The Dark Forest, and it was in 2008. So the Three-Body Problem had to have been before that, right?
Well, I haven't heard about it till just recently.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you first. So first of all, I thought we could revisit the Three-Body Problem since a lot of people are annoyed with how little I talked about it. Even they don't go look at the longer video, but maybe they'll see this. And so I thought since the Netflix series is starting, just have a little discussion about it. This is going to be full of spoilers because we're not going to worry about what we spoil. So, and kind of get people maybe who had read it years ago kind of more excited for the Netflix series that's starting this week, and just kind of have a little chit chat about this book. So my first question to you though, I didn't know about it until he said he was reading it and he said, you should read this book. And I'd never heard of it. So I want to know how you found out about it.
Well, I was in Walt Disney World with my friend. We were there literally a year ago at this time, actually.
Really?
March. Yeah, beginning of March.
Wow.
We went to our house in Florida to work on some things, and we talked about books and what he's reading and what he likes, and he's like, you should read this book, The Three-Body Problem. It's a deep philosophical sci-fi book that I think you'd like, and I just checked it out and went from there and read it. So I trusted his judgment because he said it blew his mind. If it had blown his mind, then I knew it would be good.
So, and you haven't read any of the other sequels yet, right?
I haven't yet.
Just The Three-Body Problem. And
Correct.
It was a year ago that you read it. And then I read it like just a few months later. So it's been a little while since we read this, and there's so much in it and so much that I probably didn't catch when I read it. So we've kind of looked up a summary of it so that we can kind of remember what we thought about it and remember the storyline. I want to point out that if you aren't a hardcore science fiction fan, watching a video where we discuss the storyline complete with spoilers might actually help you understand. If you plan to watch the Netflix series, it might help you understand it better. And if you are a hardcore science fiction fan and you love this kind of stuff, then also disclaimer that we don't claim to understand it at all. It's a very complicated story, so I see a lot of people kind of annoyed at me because I'm not real smart with the science fiction stuff. But I still say that even if you aren't smart with science fiction stuff, you can still enjoy this book. Okay?
Yeah.
So
I mean, Ender's Game is my big other science fiction.
So this book actually reminded me a lot of Ender's Game.
Yeah, it does. And it reminds me a lot of like the break off with Bean, Shadow of the Hegemon series that doesn't follow Ender. That's what it reminds me of.
And also it reminds me a little bit of The Sparrow, which I talked about in another video recently. So it's that one's kind of on my mind too. So let's talk about this book. Let's kind of summarize what we think it's about. And if you people that love this book so much and understand it better than us think we did terrible, that's fine. You can talk in comments what you would like to add to it, but please try to understand that we are just regular normal readers, not like hardcore science people. These books are very sciencey, and I've said that in my reviews before, so they're kind of hard to follow in parts. But it's also a fascinating story. So what would you say this book is about?
Well, I think there's two parts to the story. I mean, it takes place in Asia and China, right?
Right.
It starts earlier on and introduces a character where her father's getting beaten.
Yeah, it's during the cultural revolution in China, which is an event in China that I wasn't really that familiar with, and I kind of had to look it up, and I don't understand why this thing even happened. I don't know.
I mean, high level, it's a story about how humans accidentally, kind of, in a way, make contact with an alien, an alien force out there. And because this person that finds out a way to contact them, she's kind of upset with humankind, and she kind of gives them hints or allows them to
go ahead and come.
Yeah.
So that's the girl that's introduced at the beginning when we see her when her father gets murdered during the Cultural Revolution, and then she ends up in jail. Yes. And then eventually they come and get her out of jail, and they bring her to some high level.
Some organization where they say that they're like studying.
What is that when it's top secret? Like a top secret organization thing where they say they're doing this one thing,
but they're really not.
But then as the book goes along, we start getting hints that maybe something else is really happening. And so that's what keeps you reading, because you're dying to know what's happening, especially if you go into this not really... I mean, most people are going into this knowing that it's an alien, extraterrestrial, spacey kind of book. But does it go back and forth between her past and the other guy, the guy that's playing the game? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, I think it starts out with her, like, her story, and then her ending up at this facility. And then you kind of jump forward in time.
To the present day.
To Wang, the other kind of main character. And you kind of see what's going on with him, and then you kind of jump
back and forth.
And then you kind of jump back and forth after a while.
And you realize the two stories don't seem to connect at all at first, but then of course they connect like crazy in the end. The boy, Wang, is that his name? These names, Chinese names are really hard for me. If they were Korean names, I'd have it down. But Chinese names are really hard.
But that's another thing about the book is a lot of books I like because I get attached to the characters. But I mean, this book, I feel like I'm more attached to the story and the epic feeling of it rather than getting attached to the characters. I think I did feel attached to Yi, the girl character a little bit.
Yi Wenji.
Because I felt bad for her because her father died and her daughter kills herself.
Right.
But I didn't feel really attached to the characters, which I guess could be good because I hear the second one is a totally different set of characters.
It is. Well, Yi Wenji is at the beginning for a second, but you mentioned her daughter killed herself. We know that she died under weird circumstances, and that Wang guy comes in to investigate it, right?
Yeah, he's hired to.
And so he's like talking to people that the daughter knew, and in the process of doing that, he learns about a game. Is that right?
Yes, but
tell us about the game.
The first thing I think he starts realizing is that a lot of scientists are saying that science, like all the laws and the ideas of past scientists, are not real, right? So they're claiming that.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Well, they're like all the laws like Isaac Newton came up with aren't real. And the reason they're saying that is because the aliens are messing with Earth there.
Oh,
right?
But we don't know that
we don't know
right?
That yet.
He starts playing this virtual reality game where he gets in a suit. This is another way kind of it can remind you of like Ready Player One a little bit maybe, because he gets in this suit and he goes and plays this game where it seems very real, and he becomes kind of a character in the game.
And I think the reason he gets into the game is because he realizes a lot of the scientists are playing it.
So he wonders what's going on.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The game is called Three Body. And he goes into these civilizations, and they are having a struggle because there's three suns, and those suns they can't predict where they're going to be.
Right.
And
but we don't really know that at first. We just know that they have that chaotic era and that peaceful era. Stable era, chaotic area. So you follow these weird, these weird civilizations that immenses an eternity of time, and they explain how things change, and then each time you go into the game, they all eventually die.
Yeah,
they go into
there's a catastrophic what's that word?
Catastrophe?
Catastrophic.
Yeah.
Catastrophic event, and everybody dies, but they save themselves because they're able to dehydrate. This is where the science fiction-y part really, I feel, is crazy. And then they can rehydrate at the beginning of the next era. So there's these huge eras with these huge, ginormous amounts of time, and our guy goes in and he starts learning about these things, and he learns about their 3-body problem, and they can't predict when the sun is going to be close or far, and that's what causes these events, because if the sun's real close, then they burn up, and if the sun's real far, then they freeze to death.
Ice Age.
And then, but if there's a sun in the middle somewhere,
then they're good
for a while.
Yep. Like, there's famous people that show up, like Isaac Newton, and who else? Like Albert Einstein, Aristotle.
I can't remember.
Aristotle, Isaac Newton, maybe not Albert Einstein.
Mosey, whoever that is. As he keeps playing the game, he starts realizing what he needs to do to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he becomes like this kind of hero because he teaches them what to do or something. That's the part now that's real fuzzy from reading the year ago. But
and the other thing is, well, you eventually find out that the game is a recruiting mechanism for the group that Yi is part of that knows about the aliens.
Right. So after that whole part, and we play the game and we learn about these civilizations, then we start learning what Yi was doing in that place on top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And we start learning that she made contact with an alien species, and the aliens basically said, you don't really want to tell us where you are, because we're just going to come and invade you, because we can't live on our planet, because their civilization is the one in the game, right?
It jumps to the alien, and they reach out and they say, don't respond to us, because if you do respond to us, then we'll know how to get to you, and if we know how to get to you, then that's going to be a problem.
Which I think it's hilarious that they say that.
Right. Well, I guess this one alien doesn't want to get to the Earth or something. But
anyway.
but Yi is upset. She's in a marriage that isn't happy. She's angry that her daughter's dead, her dad's dead. She just says screw it, and she responds to the aliens so that they know how to get to Earth.
Right. She just thinks human civilization is terrible.
And she ends up killing her husband.
So, yeah. That was crazy. That was the part of the book where I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? So that, yeah, I liked that part. But
didn't he fall off a cliff or something?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. So
and she could have helped him, but she didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So she starts this organization that wants to bring the alien species to Earth, right? Yes. And then there's different factions start happening. It's sort of like a political / religious sort of thing, where all these different, when the people start finding, I don't know how they found out about it, because it was very secret at first.
I don't know if it's like a movement within all these people that know, or if it's just common knowledge now. That's kind of something I'm not quite sure on. Like, does everyone know about it?
Yeah, I don't understand how everyone knows.
But I know that, there's different factions. There's people that are pro bring the aliens and see what happens. People that are pro, not bring the aliens.
Pacifists or something.
Pacifists, but yeah, there's
anti-specious, environmentalists. It's like they have all these crazy names, and everybody believes this different thing. And the game was created to recruit people to be part of one of the groups.
ETO, so the Earth Trisolaris Organization.
Yeah. Trisolaris is the name of this other planet, because they have the 3 suns. Then all this crazy stuff happens towards the end, within those groups.
ETO has more information about the aliens, and another group wanted to get more information from ETO, and so they attacked the ship. And then they found out more about the aliens. And the last message is you are bugs. That's the last message, and then they know that they're on their way.
They're on their way.
They're going to arrive in 450 years.
450 years they're coming. The other thing that they've been able to do, this alien race, is create this little teeny tiny computer that can mess up Earth.
Right, and that's why the scientists are saying that science isn't real anymore. The laws don't match what we learned.
And they also, this little thing is affecting certain people, and they actually see stuff in their everyday life, projected out through their eyeballs. They're seeing messages. It also messes with that Wayne guy, and he starts seeing weird he's like almost he's hallucinating, and we learn that it's these little micro computers that they're spewing forth, right?
Which I don't really get.
That part is the really, really sciencey part.
But
it's
their
hard
purpose,
to understand.
they want people to lose faith in the scientists. That's what supposedly they want to happen, which
will make them want to have the alien species come and
maybe, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm a little. Hopefully, find out more in the second book.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that the aliens in their world, they're struggling, and they want to come to Earth to have some sort of resolution, some sort of
place to live,
solution.
With a stability, stable place to live.
My understanding is that the game is somewhat real in that it is Trisolaris, the planet, but I'm not sure.
It's their history.
It's their history. I'm not sure if that was like totally 100% confirmed or not. That's what I understood, but
it felt like after a while, it felt like we were actually living the history with them, but I don't know if it was real or if it was a game.
Yeah. But there is a scene where it's from the aliens' point of view, and my understanding they were like in little pods, right? Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
You don't?
Mm-hmm.
It was from the aliens' point of view, and they were in like little pods, and you like can't leave the pod because it's so cold, at least at this point. So it seems like the Trisolaris, whatever the species, is not happy where they're at, and they're coming to Earth to find some sort of solution.
Right. And so then our Earth people are all like trying to decide if they're gonna just let this happen or fight it or whatever. Did we miss any key plot points this time? I looked at the trailer for the series that's gonna happen. It looks like they're gonna really do a pretty good job. Now I know that there has been a Chinese series already been made.
Yeah, I watched it a little bit. It was all right.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like when Americans get a hold of this kind of stuff, they sometimes don't do the original justice. So I know a lot of people are a little bit worried about it, but the trailer did look really good. So I feel like there's a chance it might turn out okay. So how come you like this so much?
How come I liked it so much? I mean, I liked the epicness of it. I thought it was well written. I thought it was interesting because it seems like the idea of aliens, I mean, since I have been alive, has become a little bit more commonplace.
Especially lately.
Yeah, as in, like, it's something that's really possible. Like, maybe in my lifetime we'll make contact, or maybe we already have. Maybe the government's hiding.
Maybe there's a secret, just like in this book.
Maybe the government's hiding the fact that aliens are real. And, that's probably been going on for a while, but it seems like it's been kind of more common as something that could be for realsies.
So it's just really fascinating, right?
Yeah, and
the idea of it.
I mean, I read Ender's Game as a teenager, and I feel like this is kind of an adult version of Ender's Game, which is interesting. And yeah, I'll hopefully get to the second, third books here soon, because I hear a lot more crazy things happen.
That's what I hear too. People say it blows your mind. People use that term all the time. It blows your mind. So hopefully for those of you who have read it, that was a better little wrap up of our thoughts about this book, and than I could do in my 1 minute short review from last year. And those of you that haven't read it, and if you watch this, didn't worry about spoilers, hopefully this entices you to maybe give it a try, especially if this is something that's up your alley, right? And I think a lot of people might be watching this series and then finding the books. So if you are one of those people, then welcome to the craziness. And I'm sorry that we aren't as in depth about all the science stuff that a lot of people wish we were. But like I said, I feel like your normal everyday reader person that enjoys science fiction and alien stories can totally enjoy this too without understanding all that detail,
Mm-hmm.
So let me know what you guys think down in comments. If you want to explain some more stuff for people down in comments, that'd be awesome. My plan is to watch the series and kind of do some more videos about what I think about the series, and maybe do some little, what do they call it, little recaps of the episodes or something. That's my plan. We'll see how that goes. So if you're interested in that, then stay tuned. Until next time, happy reading!